I'm Jessica Lei, and you're watching Cool Course History. In today's episode, we'll be talking about the Silk Road. And just to clear up any confusion, no, the Silk Road was not made out of silk, although I wouldn't blame you if you thought so. There were a lot of people in history that have done a lot of crazy things. Yeah? Oh, okay. Stan says I should stop talking, and honestly, I agree with him, so let's let Nandana do the talking.
International trade. It's something we take for granted. Our clothes were probably manufactured in a different country, and their fabric might have come from a different place still. But the level of interconnectedness we get to enjoy today hasn't always been around. For much of history, civilizations were largely isolated from one another. But that all changed with the advent of the Silk Road.
Thank you, Nanda, for that amazing introduction. There were a lot of great moments in history, such as the fall of Constantinople, the Enlightenment, the Renaissance, the Scientific Revolution, and much, much more. But what about the Silk Road? What did it do? Well, we'll find out today, so let's go to the thought bubble.
The Silk Road, also known as the Silk Routes, was a system of ancient trade routes in Eurasia used from around 130 BCE to 1453 CE. Before, it came the Persian Royal Road, a trade route that ran from Susa in modern Iran through Anatolia from 550 to 330 BCE. Traveling its length would have taken a messenger around 3 months, but it used a system of relays where horses were replaced at certain points along the road, cutting the travel time to just over a week.
Eventually, control of the Persian Royal Road fell to Alexander the Great. After his death, the Greco-Bactrian Empire was established and stretched all the way into modern-day Tajikistan, marking one of the first contacts between these Eastern and Western cultures.
The formal establishment of the Silk Road took place around 200 BCE. Emperor Wu of the Han Dynasty, in his search for military allies, discovered the Greco-Bactrians. Their relations gave the Han Dynasty access to Western horses, and due to their resulting military success in 130 BCE, the Silk Road was created to further connect Eastern and Western resources and cultures.
The Silk Road transported many different commodities during its long history. It gets its name from the primary good it traded, silk. Silk became unstoppably popular in ancient Rome despite criticism of it as overly revealing. The Chinese had a monopoly on the silk-making process, and because every merchant along the Silk Road would mark up the price of their goods to make a profit, by the time it made its way over to Europe, it was a symbol of luxury.
Many other goods were transported as well, including horses, grapes, glassware, tea, porcelain, spices, paper, and gunpowder. But perhaps the most influential things that spread weren't commodities at all. The Silk Road also notably spread disease, arguably being the source for the Black Death that swept across Europe in the 1300s. It was also instrumental in the spread of ideas and religions, including Buddhism. As Buddhism died out in India, trade routes spread it to China, Korea, Central Asia, and Japan, where it still survives.
At the height of the Silk Road, walking its length would have brought you into contact with a wide variety of cultures. For instance, in the east, there was Xi'an, China, where journeys along the Silk Road began. This is where, about 2,000 years ago, the Terracotta Army's 8,000 soldiers were built and buried around the tomb of the emperor to safeguard his afterlife. Isn't that really fascinating to think about?
That is pretty interesting, actually. And look, the center of the world is opening. Wonder what's inside. Oh wow, look. It's more fake gold. That's really sad, actually, but moving on.
Further east, you'll find Samarkand, Uzbekistan. In its center is Registan Square, which features various madrasas in various shades of their traditional favorite color, turquoise. Its central location made it perfect for the trade of handmade crafts and horses, which were militarily useful.
There was also Taxila in Pakistan that connected India to the Silk Road. Here, many goods were traded, including sandalwood powder, which was especially known for its usage in beauty. In addition to an abundance of monasteries and stupas, or Buddhist shrines, this area was amazing as a center for learning and contains many of the world's first universities.
Last but not least was Damascus, Syria, at the intersection of two significant trade routes. One of these included a north-south route to Constantinople and Europe, and one was an east-south route that connected Lebanon with the Silk Road.
Eventually, religious tensions between Christian Europe and the Muslim Middle East, as well as the breakdown of the Mongol Empire in Central Asia, led to the decline of the Silk routes. Once the city of Constantinople fell to the Ottomans in 1453 CE, nearly all connections to Eastern cultures were cut, and the Silk Road formally ended. However, people didn't stop wanting the goods and success that the Silk Road had brought. Their search for new trade routes initiated the Age of Exploration, shaping the world we live in today.
The Silk Road saw an increase in consumerism and jobs for the working class, especially in China, as vast swaths of the working population shifted over to the manufacturing of silk. The Silk Road expanded trade and was powered by merchants who got goods like porcelain, silk, and silver to travel from one end to another. As there were more goods available, cities like the ones discussed became more wealthy, and the goods and ideas that spread from gunpowder and weaponry to paper and medicine led to innovation that would change the course of military and intellectual history. Our world just wouldn't be the same without the Silk Road. Thank you so much for listening.
And that's a wrap on filming our very first ever episode of Cool Course History. If you like that, make sure to drop a like or even a comment and subscribe. Thank you. See you next time.